whether that's the mortgage or the rent or groceries. The bills just keep going up.
The bills just keep going up, and Steven Miles, I mean, he's completely powerless. He's only the Premier of Queensland, and his government has only been in power the last, what, 9 years? But nothing to do with him, but he has come up with a great idea, of course, with an election looming. He's given a $1,000 electricity rebate to every Queenslander. It's not means tested, so you could be the wealthiest person in the state and you will get a $1,000 cheque from the government towards your electricity bill. I reckon Queenslanders will gladly take the money and then vote for David Crisafulli at the election. Take the money and run, Queenslanders. Firstly, because I don't think Queenslanders can be bought for $1,000. You're not going to ignore the crime crisis. No. Well, you know, our car's been stolen. My grandma got stabbed when she went to the shops. But, hey, they just gave you $1,000.
$1,000.
It's all forgiven.
I'm not saying no. You can literally smell the desperation coming off this guy right now. He knows that he is chicken liver come this election. We will see a Crisafulli Premier. And right now, all he's trying to do is buy votes. That's very obvious.
Totally. Yep, this is $2.5 billion they're spending. And it doesn't fix anything. It doesn't make electricity prices go down.
At least it's taxpayer dollars going back to the taxpayer, because it's just like any money the government has, we know is our hard-earned coin.
Except the government is in massive debt. So instead of using that to pay down debt, which ultimately would make taxpayers better off, they're only going to be worse off because of this $2.5 billion hole.
And doesn't it strike you as just maybe just a tad inflationary? I mean, if you're saying even the way, like, it's going to come in the form of a rebate.
But the hypocrisy, guess where they got this money from? I mean, they promised we're going to stop using coal, we're going to go to renewables, and prices will go down. Of course, energy prices went up. And then they say, well, we're going to bring the prices down by getting royalties from the sale of coal.
That's right.
And it was just last month as well, actually last week, that we learned Queenslanders, you've been paying more for energy than any other state in the nation, while you guys were paying $118 per megawatt. The rest of Australia was forking out $76 for the same. So no wonder he's just like, OK, that hit the headlines last week. I need to pull something major out in the stops, because Queenslanders now realise more than ever they've been absolutely ripped off when it comes to this, we're converting to green energy. But, yeah, worse than every other state you are.
But, Joe, you've been involved in politics, right? Can you imagine these ALP hacks around the boardroom table and they're thinking, we've got an election coming up in, 6 months? What should we do? We could fix hospitals. We could fix schools. We could employ more police. No, we don't want to do any of that.
No, absolutely.
What if we just gave away free money?
Exactly.
And then they all walk out of the room thinking, brilliant idea.
No, but politically it is brilliant, right? Because if you do any of those other things, right, it takes time. So what happens? You put it in place, you announce it, you put out the press release, you have the press conference, whatever, you do the photo op with the shovel out front of the hospital, the school, or whatever it may be. And then, of course, you get your backside handed to you at the election. The opposition comes in. They follow through with all those things if they're working, and they get all the credit for them. The beauty of this, right, is not only do you give everyone $1,000, so you just say, listen, vote for me and I'll give you $1,000. But not only that, is when it doesn't work and they get shown the door, the opposition has got a $2.5 billion black hole that it's got to somehow fill. It didn't get the sugar hit from the cash splash, so it hasn't got any political benefit from it, but it then has to presumably find other ways to replace that $2.5 billion.
So it's even more cynical than we ever imagined.
So it will then have to go in and do a bit of a Campbell Newman, start cutting jobs or start cutting services. And then, of course, whatever's left of the Labor Party, the opposition, can say, look at him, he's cutting jobs, he doesn't care about you, he's hurting working families. So it's politically, it's actually very, very, very smart.